everyone, it's Paige Evans and I am back today sharing this layout featuring the hibiscus flower from Kerri Bradford and using my Oh My Heart collection with pink paisley. So I traced the hibiscus flower, copied it, and repeated it 6 times diagonally across the design. Well, across the, what do you call that? Like the document? A new Silhouette Studio document? Anyway, so then I die cut it from paper 5. This is the B side of paper 5 from my Oh My Heart collection. And since it doesn't cut all the way to the very edges, I'm just going in with some fine-tipped scissors and cutting out the rest of the flowers. And I kind of goofed up a little bit over here on the top right corner, but in the end you can't really tell, so all is good. It's okay. Mistakes happen, and I have other things to worry about besides torn paper. Oh, okay, so I tried putting it back together as best I could, and then I am going to smudge over the flowers using gesso, and I wanted to do this to soften up the background a bit. This paper is very bright, very bold, and I want the flowers to be the main element that draws you into this page instead of the, oh my goodness, such a bright background. So the white gesso helps tone it down a little bit and will make the pattern papers that I plan to use behind them pop out even more. So just using my fingers and smudging it around, and there's no real rhyme or reason, just trying to blend it in, fade it out. Makes a hot mess. That's okay. It comes off really easily when you wash your hands. Alrighty, so I'm using the positive shapes that are still on the Silhouette sticky mat as templates for cutting out the pattern paper pieces. And I'm saving myself a step by not tracing around it with a pencil. I'm just going around it messily with my scissors, because in the end you don't see it. It doesn't matter if you make it imperfect as you're cutting around, because you'll just see through the die cut. So I'm using mostly greens and aquas for all of the leaves and all the other pattern papers from the 6x6 paper pad to make the petals, and yellows for the stems. Alright, so I took a picture of the background and then I used a spray adhesive to spray the back of the die cut background, and then I am carefully piecing everything back in place. You could adhere them as you go along, but I find this way is a little bit faster using spray adhesive. I did end up using some Scotch tape to keep all the petals in place, everything in place, because my adhesive wasn't very strong. So just a little bit of tape helps everything stay in place, and then trim the excess. And then when you flip it over, it's just like, so much color. I did use my sewing machine and I stitched around one flower, but I think it made it look too flat, right? It like lost some of the dimension and it made it kind of look like it was already made like that. So I decided to cover it up with my photo cluster, and then I actually like how there's some stitching peeking out from underneath, so it worked out. Dropping some black watercolors all around, then dropping some white paint splatters around. This is white acrylic paint, and I just like the whimsy that this adds. Everything is so structured, so by having the paint splatters, it just makes it more, like I said, whimsical. Balancing the photo cluster with journaling, and the photo cluster is just, layers of die cuts, and the chipboard thumbs up stickers comes in the chipboard stickers pack, along with the puffy sticker, so just a nice cluster, bringing the focus right to the photo. And I love how that vibrant green matches the greens in the collection, and her pants match the background paper. So it's all matchy-matchy. I stamped that line of hearts is from the roller stamp and Take Me Away. And here I'm just creating a subtitle, says "So Cool." And I do stitch over that with my machine. I like adding sewing machine lines for texture. It keeps everything in place. So I hope you're inspired to give this cut file a try on your next layout. Thanks for joining me.